your time. I say what's on my mind. I just wanna make a change in your life. Take hands with mine too. We can reveal the truth. Conversation with Dr. Creative.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so very much for joining Conversations with Dr. Creative. Yet another episode, and this is a special, special one today. This person I truly look up to. I met her along my journey and working in the industry. And from the first moment I met her and talked to her, we clicked, and she has been in my life ever since. So I'm super blessed to talk to you guys and allow y'all to get to know this individual from a personal point of view. We can talk about all kinds of things, not just what's on the internet. So real quick, when we talk about architects behind the scenes who shaped the music industry, Vivian Chew's name is the one name that reigns with power, purpose, and legacy. She's a pioneering force. Vivian Chew has decades not only championing talent, but also reshaping what equity, access, and leadership looks like, especially for Black creators. Whether it's through her game changing work with Chew Entertainment or her dedication to artist development, Vivian is a true visionary who blends strategy with soul. She's not only a trailblazer in the music industry, but she also is one half of the powerhouse duo alongside her husband, the renowned musical director, Ray Chew. Together, they've curated unforgettable musical experiences on some of the world's largest stages. But beyond her accolades and impact, Vivian Chew is a mentor. She is a movement. She is a mirror for what is possible when you lead with purpose. Listen, I am honored to introduce to the stage and to our show today the one, and the only Vivian Chew.
Oh.
Hey, how are you?
What's up, Doc?
What's up? What's going on? It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. I hope you've been well.
I've been good. I've been good, just moving and
Good.
shaking, trying to make things happen. But what you been up to lately?
What haven't I been up to lately? Well, I'll tell you, I'm excited about tonight because our foundation, Power to Inspire, is doing an event. We have an initiative called All Access Pass where we talk to business people and creatives who we want our young people to learn from. And tonight we have an event called An Evening With. And it's with the wonderful maestro Paul Reiser. A lot of people may not know him by name, but you know his sound. He's done over 400 string arrangements for the Funk Brothers back in the Motown days, all the way up to Mary J. Blige, Stevie Wonder's Overjoyed, Gladys Knight and the Pips, neither one of us. I mean, he's the maestro. So we're celebrating him tonight in New York. So I'm excited about that.
Wow, congratulations. You are always on the move. Whenever I see you like on your social media or I ever see you like just anywhere, it's like this is going on, this concert's going on, this is going on. You do a lot. You do a lot. And you also give back a lot. I remember one of the experiences that I've had with you was going to meet your students in Atlanta. You have like a mentorship group. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Mhm. Yeah, that's part of our foundation. So during the pandemic, literally I had nothing to do. And so it's like, you know what? Let's expand our foundation reach and let's do a virtual internship mentorship program. And that's what we did. And that year was our first year. We're going into our sixth summer of doing that. And we welcomed 24 young people from the US, one from the UK. We had mentors from all around the world because all of my friends had nothing to do either. And this was the summer of 2020 when things were really insane. But we have been able to mentor over 150 kids from the US, Europe, Asia, Africa. And that's probably one of the most exciting things that I get to do. So I thank you for spending time with the young people that you did spend time with because we cluster them. So there's a New York cluster, an LA cluster, an Atlanta cluster, a UK cluster. And thank you for giving your time. It meant a lot.
When was the last time you had a vacation?
I just came back from one. How about
Oh,
that?
very good.
I
When was
just came
that?
back from, I went to Thailand and I went to Bali, and it was life transforming. Absolutely life transforming.
What made it so transforming?
It made me slow down. I ate differently.
Yeah.
I did something in reverse. I went to bed early and woke up early. I'm usually the reverse, and I've been trying to keep those tenets happening.
Yeah.
But the people that we met, I went with one of my best friends from Houston, and just the kindness and the gentleness, and nobody was rushing,
Mm.
and everything still got done.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to carry that with me, that I don't have to, have 4 and 5 balls juggled in the air. They'll all get done. So that was a takeaway for me.
So, question: how long have you been in this industry?
Ooh,
Because the
you
numbers,
gonna
I
make
would
a
love to
girl tell
hear
her
those.
age,
I
huh?
would love to hear those. I mean, it doesn't matter, honey. You look good. Okay, the
Thank you.
smile, the hair, the skin, everything is amazing on you. So we ain't worried about that. But how long have you been in the game, and what got you into it? Because I know you may have
Yeah.
started off in a different area. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I always knew I wanted to be in the music industry growing up in the church. I mean, I'm the kid that fall asleep during the sermon, but as soon as the music was on and popping, I was there.
Yeah.
So, but I can't sing. So
Oh.
I got involved as the business manager for the church choir. And my choir at the time, I grew up in a little seaside town in New York called Far Rockaway.
Hmm.
And we had like one of the top reigning choirs. Far Rockaway is in Queens. So it was my job to book them out, get the money, figure out how much fried chicken we need for the bus ride. That was me at 16. So I knew that my gift was being behind the music. And my first job was working for a Black female entertainment attorney by the name of Louise West. And that's over 40 years ago. I was a young girl that just wanted to be in the industry. I was a newly single mom. I had just gotten divorced. And I had to figure out how I was going to make money to take care of my daughter, but also, follow what my heart was telling me to do. And that was the beginning. And I've just had a 4 decade amazing run, waking up every morning doing what it is I love to do.
And what would you say is like the moment you was like, okay, I'm doing my thing. This is it. Like I got this going. I'm the
Right.
person. What was that
Oh,
moment for
I
you?
remember. I remember. I was 27 years old, and I had been referring all of my friends for this job at ASCAP, which
Mhm.
is the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. And they're the people, along with BMI and CSAC, who collect royalties for songwriters and publishers. So, in working with Louise as an entertainment attorney, she really got me ready for the world of publishing and performing rights. And I had been referring my friend, this is a great lesson for those when you think that you're not worthy and God does know you are, He will open that door. And what happened was everybody who interviewed didn't get the job. And so they came back to me and said, "Why don't you interview?" And it was like, "Me?
Mhm.
Okay." And I
Mhm.
did. And so my aha moment was when I walked in and my nameplate was on the outside of my office, and I actually had someone answering my phone. That was the moment. That was the moment.
Wow. And was that like your first really, really big job?
It was. It was. I mean, you know what is what we defined as really big? Let me double
Okay.
back. In between working with Louise and ASCAP, I worked for, unfortunately, he's become an ancestor, but there was a producer by the name of Kashif.
Hmm.
And Kashif, whose name you may not know, but you know his work, he gave Whitney Houston her first hit, You Give Good Love. He
Oh.
was behind Melissa Morgan, and I mean, just a giant. And I skipped a job. I actually went to work in the concert department at Radio City. And one day, my boss's employment contract was delivered, and I went down to the desk to get it, and it was open. So, me being Vivian, I looked at it and
Okay.
saw how much money he was making, and I was making this amount of money and just getting by. And I went to him and said, "Look, I need a raise." And he says, "We don't have it in the budget, but you have a clothing allowance, sir." And I quit that day.
Yeah.
And I was unemployed for about 40 minutes because when I walked outside the building, I got hit by a bicycle because I wasn't looking, and it was Kashif. And we knew each other. And he's like, "Hey, what you doing?" I was like, "I'm looking for a job." He's like, "Great, I need an assistant. Let's go." So I was literally unemployed for 40 minutes. Started
Wow.
working for Kashif, which was that's when I got to go on the road. I learned how to become a tour manager because he was an artist on Arista Records at the time. He had just bought the Jackie Robinson estate in Stamford, Connecticut. And uh, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm so sorry. redesigned the guest house to become a studio. And so that's where he saw, he had newly signed artists. One of them was Kenny G,
Ooh,
who
legend.
stayed up at the house in Connecticut. So for about a year and a half, I got a real 360 view of a lot of things. And that's when I was referring people for the ASCAP job, and I ended up going to get it. And at ASCAP, something I'm really proud of is that they never honored Black artists until I made a point.
Hmm.
And that particular year, they had country awards, they had pop awards, they even had British awards.
Wow.
And that year, Quincy Jones, Lionel Richie, and Stevie Wonder were the top pop writers.
Mm.
And I went into the board meeting. Ashford and Simpson were on the board at that time, and I just kept my focus on them while I read my little letter because I was told I was going to be fired if I did it. And
Yeah.
the Malcolm X and me, my fellow Torian,
Hmm.
kicked in. And I went in and said what I was going to say. I had boxes in my office. I went back to pack, and my boss's boss came in and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I was told I'm going to, if I did
Fire.
this, I'm going to get fired." And he was like, "Stop." We
Mm.
just never knew. It wasn't anything against it. We
Mm.
just never thought about it. And so the ASCAP Rhythm and Soul Awards was born. It's like 35 years old. And I'm really excited about that. So those are my aha moments where we're definitely at ASCAP. That's when I knew I had arrived.
And how did you do all of that while being a mommy?
You know what? It's a tribe. I will say that my former husband, because Ray is my first husband.
Loving
So
your
my
life. I know
former
that's right.
husband, uh, he was a really good dad. He was just not a good husband.
Mm.
And, but so he and his family, and of course my family, and then of course my tribe of my girls who just knew that, they had, and in the midst of all of this, my daughter, when she was 6 years old, was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So life really changed. And
Yeah.
so I had to be able to depend on people to make sure that she ate, that she slept, that she took her medicine,
Mhm.
as a little girl. But I mean, there's I could sit and the next however amount of time we have, just acknowledging and thank everybody that helped me get to where I was. I had a lot of shoulders to stand on.
Whew, it definitely takes a village. I know that for sure.
Yes.
Just being a father who had, took on responsibility of being a full-time dad, I wouldn't have
Mhm.
been able to work in our industry without, my friends from church, the music
Yes.
minister, my neighbor, my partner. Like I needed people to be around because I also feel like it's important for you to also feed where your heart's at, right?
Oh,
Because when
absolutely.
you're happy, everybody around you is happy. Okay. And
Exactly.
so I definitely identify with that because I think without my village, I don't know where I would be.
Hmm.
So sometimes I ask people, like, especially when, they're working in this industry, is I feel like this industry is 24/7. Even when you're sleeping, you're still working in your mind. I have dreams about
Yeah.
work. I have dreams
Yeah.
about future projects. And
Yeah.
that's because, and it aggravates my partner because he's like, can you just sleep? And I'm like, I can't. There's something good going to happen. I have that kind of mentality. So I always give kudos to those who are in the industry, still present in their children's lives, still creating opportunities for those who are trying to move up in the ladder. Like, I think that
Mhm.
that is beautiful. So you go, girl.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you have mentorship during your process? Like, was there anybody who was there, like, you know what, Vivian, don't give up, you got this, or there's like, actually, don't talk to him, talk to her because
Mhm.
that's going to help you.
Mhm.
Do you have anybody like that in your life?
I I had so many. Again, I could spend our whole time together telling you about those people. I will say that Louise West was my first,
Good.
and she encouraged me to find other mentors. Now, I also my story is a little different from a lot of women, particularly in my age group, who felt like the men didn't. Yes, the music industry is very heavy male. I get it. But I will tell you, the brothers, when I went to my next job at Polygram Records, which is now Universal Music, and they hired me to be an A&R person, there were only three women, three Black women that had done it. Sylvia Roan, I can't remember who the other person was. I'm so sorry. Oh, Debbie Sanford or Sandridge. She was at Motown, and me. And I didn't know what A&R was, which
Mm.
is artists and repertoire. And at that time, it's very different than what it is now. There was no YouTube, there was no TikTok. I literally had boxes of cassettes that I would have to listen to in my office. I would have to go out and see live bands. I would have to, it was my relationship with publishers is what made the label want to hire me because they knew that I could go and find songs and pair up with producers. And I really didn't have an experience in the studio. And it was my brothers, a guy named Timmy Regisford and Merlin Bob, and they were the ones that said, we'll go in with you and we'll show you what a mix should really sound like. We'll go with you to the mastering house so that you can put the last bit of shellac on it and make it into a hit. So I had so many people that I could go to when I didn't know what I was doing.
For those who don't know, can you share some of the artists that you may have helped along the way that we may listen to today?
Sure. Well, I don't know if you're listening to them today because that's been a while, but if you're from the little beautiful island of Jamaica, one of my first signings was Third World.
Mhm.
And what I love about that signing is that I was able to produce a song called Forbidden Love, and we put a rapper on it. And there had never, ever been a rapper on a reggae record before that. His name is Daddy O from the group
Mhm.
Stetsasonic. And we took it to radio, and radio said, "We don't play rap."
Wow.
So
That's how
that's
early
how
it
long ago
was.
that was, right? That's how long
Right.
ago that was. That was late 80s. And so we had to do an edit without the rap. And that's how we got the record on radio. But the clubs was playing the ones with the rap.
Of course.
And so I got the opportunity to make Jamaica my second home. And while I was down there, I discovered this whole new genre called dancehall.
Oh.
And in Kingston on Sunday, there used to be a tradition where everybody would go to Hellshire Beach. There are beaches in Kingston. People think it's Mobe and Ocho Rios and the Grill, but there are beaches in Kingston. And you
Mhm.
go on Sunday and you go in the boat with the fisherman and you pick out the fish you want and he comes back and he fries it up for you and the sound system is going.
Mm.
And there was this voice that about every fourth song was this booming voice. I'm like, who is? And he said, that's Shabba Ranks. And so that's how I got introduced to Shaba, and we were able to create history. We had two platinum records. We back to back Grammys, best reggae record, and we did some stuff. And so I opened the door for dance hall, and then all the other labels started signing artists. And all of a sudden, we saw this island that had sort of leveled off. All of a sudden recording studios were opening up and people were getting publishing deals and I'm seeing Benzes
Yeah.
and BMWs, right? And it was just so great for the economy for an island that released more records per capita than any other country.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really proud of that. I signed an artist, Sister Soldier, the Revolutionary. Another put my job on the line moment.
You go.
And then President Clinton went after her on Time Magazine, and then that was like a great. I'm sorry, it was Newsweek, and that was a great break for us because now everybody knew who Soldier was.
Yeah.
And then I've always been the left of center person when it came to who I wanted to work with, and then there was the then 50-something-year-old George Clinton, who I had known all my career. And the label was like, he's 50 years old. What are you doing? And they're like, well, we're about to fly a mothership. That's what we're going to do. And we did. And we put out a record in 1996 called The Awesome Power of a Fully Mothership. And next year is the 50th anniversary of the original landing of the mothership, which was in 1976 in New Orleans. So we're about to gas up a
I know
mothership
y'all turning
one
up for
more
that.
time.
I'm gonna have
One
to look out
more
for that one.
time.
That's gonna be good.
It's going to be really good. So I've had a really colorful career when it comes to being a record person.
Mhm.
And then I decided I didn't want to be a record person anymore. But I'll let you guide me into
Well, I
that.
mean, you put it out there. Now I want to know why.
He just woke up, one day, and Ray and I were newly married, and he just saw that I just wasn't happy. And
Mm.
West Coast rap had just started popping, and the lyrics in West Coast rap at the time was a little misogynistic, and
Mhm.
it wasn't something that I felt like I could go home to my then teenage daughter and go, "Look what mommy did today." And I just think I was just burnt. I was burnt out. I was running the department at this time, and there was a lot going on. It was about 3 years before that, I lost my mother and my brother 4 months apart, and I was just tired. And so my husband said, don't do it. Just don't do it. The blessing is that the head of the department was my former attorney. So he was able to negotiate me out of the deal where I did get paid. And I figured, well, I've got a little bit of time to figure it out. What do I love? I love music
Yeah.
and I love to travel. So
Mm.
how can I get people to pay me to travel and bring music forth?
Yeah.
And literally driving down the highway, there was a billboard for the then Continental Airlines, which is now United. And the billboard said, whatever time zone you're in, we're there with you. And I went, that's the name of my company. I'm going to do international marketing. I'm going to market Black artists overseas. Didn't exist. And Time Zone opened its doors. I went 13 months without a check. I finally convinced Kedar Massenberg, who was the chairman of Motown, to give me a shot. And we
Mhm.
stayed open for 20 years until the pandemic hit and nobody could travel. But that was my second dream job. I've had many dream jobs in my life. And that and being able to artists like India Arie and Jill Scott and him and BB Winans and thought leaders, Iyanla Van Zant. I was able to take them outside the country to Europe and to Asia and to Africa and expand their reach. And we had a good time doing. We had a lot of fun doing it.
Would you ever go back to that?
I would love to do that. I just don't think that the market is there anymore. Labels are back to where they were when I first started it, saying that there's no budget to promote Black artists overseas. When I started it, their theory was Black music doesn't translate overseas. Literally, that was their theory.
That doesn't
And
make
we
sense.
proved it. Hip hop, of course, but hip hop broke the door down because it wasn't about our music, it was about our culture.
Yeah.
Other cultures want how we wear our hair, our swag, our clothes, the way we talk, our music. We are the most desired people on the globe.
Say it loud and
And
proud.
so and I'm absolutely, and I still feel that way. I just think that record companies just don't want to necessarily invest in artists. They'll invest in records. They
Mm.
don't necessarily invest in artists and in artist development. You see people like, I'll use for an example, Tyla, that Water song, huge record.
Yes.
If
Yes.
she did not have Sylvia Rome behind her as the chairman of Epic, who said, I'm investing in your career and everything that means that, we haven't heard another single from Tyla. They're still building on it. And I'm sure there will be. And I'm sure she'll have a great career. But
Yeah.
she was just blessed to have a record company head that understands the art of artist development. And we don't have that a lot anymore.
Would you say that that is one of the things that is missing from today's music or artists? I feel like I often have this conversation, like, what happened to the times of artist development, media training, uh,
Hmm.
people who would do vocal lessons, people have dance lessons, all the things that it took to have a sustainable artist. Do
Right.
you feel like we're missing that within our time? Because there are singers that we know, like we know some artists that can blow, and that aren't
Hmm.
as big as they really should be because of the times that we're in. Do you think that some of the things
Yeah.
that are missing is that part?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's grooming. Sometimes I look at these artists and go, where's your mother? Why is she letting you out there looking like that? Um, But yeah, there are no more artist development departments. I mean, there were whole departments called artist development that did absolutely that. It was like, Berry Gordy's vision with Motown. When those
Mm,
artists walked into Hitsville, yes, they were put with songwriters and producers, but they were put with choreographers. They were put with
mhm.
etiquette classes,
Yeah,
grooming, how to style themselves. The Supremes. Seeing those pictures where they're crossed at their ankles. Someone taught them that.
yeah.
And I mean, I know that we're in an entirely different world, and there are a lot of artists that I love that are current that I hope their artistry will be able to continue because they've got a great team
Mm,
around them. You need a team. You
absolutely.
need a team.
And I'm glad. I hope people hear that. You need a team. You can't always do it
Need
by
a
yourself.
team. Yeah.
So I want to ask before our time is up. I want to ask the question I've been asking
Mhm.
all season,
Okay.
and because this question and the word love has so many different meanings, right?
Mm.
And so I like
Hmm.
to ask my guest, what is your definition of love?
Oof. Well, the highest love is agape love.
Absolutely.
So my first love is my love for God.
Mm,
And my faith and belief is Jesus Christ is my savior.
yeah.
That's number one. Love of family. And sometimes family is not the people that you share blood with. I have a very created, curated family, in addition to my blood family.
Hmm.
My immediate family had no idea what it was that I wanted to do in the industry, and they were like, "Girl, you need to go back to college and get a job." Because I'm a very proud Georgetown University college dropout.
Hmm.
But it wasn't what I wanted to do. It wasn't my destiny. So I think that love from a family and friends and tribe, is people who support you, people who want to see your crazy dreams happen,
Yeah.
people who check you, people who check you, people who want you to be better.
Yeah.
That's love. And as far as a romantic love, I really had never experienced what real unconditional selfish love is. My husband's my biggest fan.
Wow.
And he's the one that pushes me, and he's the one that said when I was not working for 13 months, that's okay, just stay focused. Somebody's going to believe in your vision. And they
Yeah.
did. So I'm very blessed to have that kind of romantic love. That Ray and I will be married 28 years this year. And there
Mm.
were people who said it would not, because I was a record company person and he was a musician. So it's called the
Hmm.
thems and the us's, and
Yeah.
but here we are, and we have uh, an amazing life where we work together. We have True Entertainment, that's a event design company, and we produce shows all around the world, including our Night of Inspiration at Carnegie Hall that we do, which is one of our real
Yes.
jewels in our cap. But then also this foundation is just as important to us. What's that term? To much is given, much is expected, I think,
Yep.
if I'm not misquoting it.
Hmm.
Ray and I have had amazing careers. We continue to have amazing careers, but it's to give back. There's a song that we used to sing in church that would say, only what you do for Christ will last.
Yeah.
And if I can help somebody, then my living will not be in vain. We
Hmm.
live by that. We live
Dope.
by that. So it takes me right back to agape love.
Yeah, and I can definitely confirm that you have always been just a great ear, a great person to chat with, and
Thank you.
always giving resource even through knowledge. And I think that that is the most powerful thing you can ever give to a person is knowledge
Hmm.
and direction, especially when you've been there and
Absolutely.
done it before. So I definitely want to say thank you for that. Before we
You're
close, I want
welcome.
to play a game. Is that okay?
Oh, shoot. I love a game. Is there money involved? Let me get comfortable.
There's imaginary monopoly money involved, and so
Okay,
you
I'll
definitely can
take
win
it.
a lot of money.
Okay, well, as long as I get boardwalk, let's
I know
go.
that's right. That's a good one. All right. So you are challenged with creating the world's most super group of females, four of them.
Ooh.
And it could be the person has to be alive, but it could be somebody who's already out and has a deal or somebody who's on the come up. But this group has to be four powerhouse. I'm about to, they're going to kill this, but it's a girl group.
Oh my God. Beyonce,
Oh, yep. Hmm.
Mary J. Blige.
I would love to know your rationales behind this because you name people I love. So,
I mean, I'm picking stars, and I mean, come on,
yep,
Beyonce. She
yep,
writes, she sings. I mean, she does everything, and she keeps her poise.
yep.
And which people say stuff about her, she don't even address it. She's like,
She's
next.
smart.
She's really smart, and she has an incredible team.
Mm,
I love Mary because I love Mary's rawness.
me too.
And I think that she speaks to women, particularly Black women, in a place that when we don't know how to articulate it. And I mean, she's just been so honest with her life that she would definitely be in my group.
Absolutely.
Oh wow.
It's already a good group.
Erica Campbell.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Erica Campbell, because she's gonna keep everybody together with Jesus.
Yep.
And one of the most amazing voices, she sang
Oh,
Richard Smallwood's song, I Love the Lord at Carnegie. And I just got goosebumps. The
yeah.
whole place just shattered.
Yep.
Um, wow.
One more.
I know. I mean, there's so many young girls that I love Snow Allegra. I love Victoria Monet. I love oh my God. I'm looking at her. I
One
love
more.
Ray. Oh, there's gotta be a star. Oh, I might have a trio.
Ah!
Oh no. I got it.
Who?
Lettucey.
Oh, that. You done it.
Medicine, who I am very blessed to say I started her international
Yep.
career, and this is before she had a deal in the
Yep.
US. This is before anybody knew, and we toured, and she sold out shows, and Lettucey would definitely with a little bit of drop of Jill Scott. So I might have to have 5, but those would be my
I'm cool
girls.
with the 5. That 5 is amazing. Listen, that group would kill and turn up shop. Do you hear me?
Oh my
That they could
God.
tour every day and it would be sold out. You hear me?
Yeah. I mean, I was about to do take the early, I mean, take the easy route and go the 4 queens, Stephanie, Shaka, Patty, and Gladys. Their tour. That's an
The
easy answer.
period.
You challenged me to do
Period.
something else. Thank you.
Oh wow. I really love that. And I really love you sitting down chatting with me today.
Thank
I
you.
know you're a busy woman, but I appreciate the time that you spent with me today. And I hope to hear
Yeah.
from you very, very soon. Do you mind letting everybody know one what you got coming up and also where they can find you on
Mhm.
social media?
Or I mean, we've got quite a few shows that are coming up. One that I also talent book. So I've got George Clinton with Living Color, June 29th at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park. I've got George again and Yolanda Adams, 2 different nights at the Greeks and Grapes in Napa. It's going to be an incredible weekend, August 9th through the 11th
Okay.
of the Divine Nine celebrating wine. So that'll be a
Okay.
lot of fun. We have a show that we are doing here. We live in Bergen County, New Jersey, and we have a beautiful little performing arts center. And in August, we are doing the cookout. So you're
Okay.
going to be able to do a sing along to all the songs that you be hearing at the cookout, the
Hmm.
Mays, the OJs, Arethas, all of that kind of good stuff. But I think what I'm most excited about is July 7th, we start our 6th year of mentorship internship with our young people. And I'm looking forward to the 4 weeks that I spend with these amazing creators and future industry leaders. They feed my soul. And tonight at the Sugar Bar, when we celebrate Mr. Riser, we have a band of our young creatives from Power to Inspire. Our videographer is a Power to Inspire alumni, and we keep them close. We keep them close.
Wow, that's so good. I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
make it to as much as I can.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Especially that cookout one and the one with Yolanda Adams sounds so good.
Yeah.
Let me know if you need anything. You know, I'm always around. Always around.
Thank you. And I can be reached through Instagram. I respond to every DM. It's real simple. It's at Vivian Scott Chew. And my email is vivian@chewentertainment.com.
Beautiful.
I respond.
Yes, you do. Thank you
Yes.
so very much. You
Thank
guys know to
you.
follow me on all social media platforms. And once again, make sure you subscribe. You write some comments. Let's talk and share this. Thank you again, Vivian. And to everybody
Oh,
else,
thank you.
yes, see you soon.
God bless. Thank you.